Well, howdy, nearly senior citizen here. Greetings, boys and girls, and all welcome to binary friends, and welcome to this, a brand new day. It's a Saturday. Yay, Saturdays, which for me are just like any other day, since I have no job or anything, and I cling to my YouTube channel to provide form and structure to an otherwise formless and structureless life. So thank you for coming along with me on this journey of exploration. It is greatly appreciated. And for the Shelton, Washington weather report, yay! Last night I went out walkies, and it was not dry totally. There was moisture on the ground for most of the walk, but it didn't rain, so that was nice. And now it is gray-ish, but the sun is, it's moving up in the sky, even though there's a small cloud cover here in southern Shelton, so thumbs up on that. Definitely a good thing. Minor spider report. I was feeding my kitty cat down there, and between the two bookcases that I have, there was movement. There was a fat-bodied spider down inside there between the two bookcases near the carpet. Yay, more life. It's life that eats bugs, so thumbs up on that. Hopefully you are doing well on what is, as I record this Saturday. Now, of course, when you are watching this, who knows? I mean, you could be watching it the day it comes out. You could be watching it years from the moment I'm recording it. It's hard to say. So hopefully your day is good. Thumbs up on that. Not a ton to talk about, but there is some. And that's a good thing. Just as when I was talking about the Adventures of Lemonhead story where he dies in the very first thing. And so for if it's I think it'd be perfect as a 12-issue webcomic or actual physical comic book, because he dies in the first episode and is gone. And then it's the rest of the story, the Adventures of Lemonhead, are people reacting now in their lives to what's happened. I mean, it's horrific in some cases. The person that's actually the cause of death, who knows? I mean, they drink themselves to death. They can't handle it anymore. Another minor hero drops out of the heroing business entirely and starts selling insurance because Lemonhead's powers failed. What if my powers fail when I'm out doing something? I can travel through walls. What happens if I get stuck halfway through a wall? So he just jumps out and is just selling insurance. So, just as there's that, I have also been thinking of, as I look towards my list to make sure that I stay on topic, I have been gravitating towards stories, reading from others, and writing my own, attempting to write, thinking about, where characters are having to accept something rather inevitable. Stories where there's no grand ending where they fix things. The latest one is based on, because, everything is based on something, but it's based on this one song by the Postal Group, We Become Silhouettes. We will become silhouettes when our bodies finally go. And it's a song about a guy trapped in a bomb shelter after the rest of the world has died. And he's losing his mind as he tells about this. Well, I've got an idea for a story on that, where it's the guy has watched the rest of the human race die in the apocalypse. Who knows what happened? In this particular case, it could be there's something that comes out of space. And these little sparkles, little puffballs of purple, they gather up on your body, and then, you die and fall to the ground. Or you become something different, but you're gone. Your body is gone. And he and a few others are in bomb shelters or some such, but the rest of the world is gone. And in this particular case, with this particular person, their whole thing on it, they actually leave the shelter because, and I've been thinking on this one, with this particular person's view on it, it's The rest of humanity has died from these things. It is humanity's fate and destiny. And who am I? Who am I to avoid that fate, that destiny? The rest of my species is gone. There is no hope of making it last longer. By my surviving and continuing to survive, I'm just defying the fate that has taken the rest of my species. And who am I to do that? And so it's not survivor's guilt, but just the particular worldview of who am I to avoid this? This thing that has taken the rest of my species. It was meant to take us all. Who am I to not? And the only thing this person is really afraid of is dying hurts. And I don't know about this. I just hope it doesn't hurt too much. And so they open up, walk outside, and just hope it doesn't hurt as all the little lights start to gravitate toward them and settle on their skin. Stories where there may be no happy ending. Stories where characters are having to accept the inevitable. It may not be a good ending, but it's something that's going to happen whether they like it or not. And just as I realized with that Adventures of Lemonhead story, where I was giving the widow of the main character permission to love again and live her life after the death of her husband, which gender swap the thing is my situation entirely. My wife died and I have been recovering and I'm finally giving myself permission. I've been writing in my head with these things and gravitating toward with this person leaving. When I look in the mirror, see my own encroaching mortality. It's not going to be tomorrow, but just like any human being, I am on a fixed time limit of life. And I see encroaching mortality every time I look in the mirror. I'm dealing with accepting the inevitable on my own. So these stories are just a way for me to deal with it as it comes up. My therapist keeps telling me, write about these things so that you can deal with them. He's not demanding, write me a story. He's saying, write these things out so you can deal with them. I cannot consciously sit down and say, I'm going to write this out so that I don't have to deal with it. But I'm still doing it subconsciously. The things I'm coming up with are ways for me to deal with accepting the inevitable. Just as my other stories were ways for me to deal with trying to wake up and come up with a new life after the death of my wife. So, rather amazing, I thought, because I was walking along the street on my walkies last night, and it was just a do-do-do-do, bam! Sudden stop, and it's like, holy smokes. So, yeah, thumbs up. So, I don't know, I got a lot more stories where they're traditional stories are beginning, middle, end, but there are a whole bunch of stories and such that are slice of life stories, and slice of life stories are those that are just that. It's a slice of life. There is no setup and then what conflict and then resolution at the end. It's just, this is how the slice of life went for that day or week or year or whatever. And it's just, how does this person live? Slice of life stories are good and can be excellent. And these are like slice of end life. So here's a hoping I can at least do something with them. Definitely a thumbs up. Now, on a different subject, here's something kind of cool that showed up yesterday. And of course, I have already dropped it once, so yay. Because it's big. This is big. It's not heavy, but it's, as you can see, it's large. Well, what the heck is this plugged in thing? This is an anti-SADS lamp. SADS, of course, being seasonal affective disorder syndrome. This is going to be really bright, and so it's the whole spectrum of light, so that you turn it on and you like, well, I don't put it like this because that's really bright. I set it like over here, and then I have it shining light on me, and it comes up with like the daylight spectrum. And so you can set it for various brightnesses and lengths of time, and then you just set it off to the side and the LEDs put out the daylight spectrum. That showed up yesterday, and I have been using it. Not a ton, because I got it yesterday. And you do want to be careful, because at night you don't want to use full spectrum sunlight, because this full spectrum sunlight ramps your body up to be awake, and especially light from like computer screens or anything that has blue light is going to keep you awake. That's one of the reasons that you should put your phone into anti-blue light mode if you're going to be watching at night, because orange and red light, the oranger and redder, that does not bother you. That's why emergency lights are red, because it doesn't affect your eyes opening and shutting. They're not going to pinpoint in bright red light. Red light is good for that, and it doesn't really ramp up your body. So you don't want blue light or this sort of stuff too close before bed. But around 6 o'clock last night, I was using it before I went on walkies, and I actually slept pretty good, and that was nice. And speaking of that, really quick as well, normally my kitty cat, she's up in the window right now. She doesn't like being in with me while I'm sleeping. If I'm moving, she'll curl up with me. If I'm petting her, she'll lay there on the bed with me. But the minute I start to go to sleep, she's up and out. She doesn't care. This morning, when I started to wake up, turned on my light and such, she jumped onto my bed, curled up right here between my arm and my body, and was just ecstatic. So she was happy because I was just laying there and I was awake and moving, so she could be with me. Oh, excuse me. And so that was a very good thing. She's not an incredibly expressive kitty cat. Occasionally she'll jump up on my lap and just lavish cuddles and all that on me and rub her head down here and such. And she does that periodically, but on the whole, she is over there or just sleeping or doing other things. She's a cat. But she's getting older. She's, like, in a couple of years, going to be 20. So she's starting to get scraggly and thinner. So she still does good. She's a good kitty. And little Ghost, he was up and running this morning. He's also the kind that by the time I'm doing this, he's well asleep. But he's thoroughly destroyed all of the cardboard stuff that I had put in for a house for him. And now when he goes in, he just digs his way down below the bedding, and he stays down there. Hamsters are burrowing creatures. They like to have bedding, but not always. When I had little Gojira down here, and I've had some other hamsters that were in the other bins that I've had, Gojira was not a digger. I mean, she would dig in a mason jar, she would do that sort of stuff, but she was up here on the surface of things. She liked to sleep just, well, she'd run around and wherever she was. If she was tired, she'd just stop and sleep. Normally, they like to be safe and such. She would just flomp wherever she was and sleep. Well, he's dug himself down, and if I do stuff, he'll go boink, and his little head will come up out of the bedding, and when he's done taking a look, he's just whoop, back down inside. Definitely a good thing. When I had little Dust Mop as a hamster, he would do almost the same thing. He would sleep under his bedding, but once he was done sleeping, he would come out and then spend his time up top. Little Ghost down here will spend most of the day down underneath the bedding and then spend, well, when he's dashing around. And yesterday, like I mentioned it, but it was still so cute, so I gotta mention it again. There's a little chew toy that he really likes. It is a disc of wood with a spindle through the middle and then two round, like barbell ends on the end of that. So he kept grabbing it with his mouth between the disc and the circular end, and he was just dragging it everywhere. And the first time I gave it to him, he started chewing on one of the ends. He really likes that type, and it's just so cute to see him running around with it. Definitely a thumbs up. And I've opened up 24 hours worth of comments in my community tab. Going to go through and thank 20 to 25 people for having left me a comment. I'm not reading the comments right now. I'm going to read them later. Thumbs up each one I do. Answer as many as I can. Well, that my executive dysfunction would allow. So thank you very much. And if I mispronounce a username, no disrespect is intended. I am an American English speaker. And even though I count American Sign Language on the fingers of this hand with my depression, fibro, ADHD, mourning, and more, I'm lucky I can remember anything at all sometimes. So, calling on my Chrome, we have Ice Damon, thumbs up and thank you. Liz Way, thumbs up and thank you. Hellboy, greatly appreciated. Mighty Sauce 3, thumbs up. Confused Owl 29 probably does have an anti-camera gyroscope. Lily Eller, thank you. We have Sebastian Dabner, who, not bad. Kenny McCormick, thumbs up. There is Chris G, greatly appreciated. We have Bobbles Flopalopagus, thumbs up. Ricky Bettini with the daily reminder to live every day to its fullest. Sebastian Ferris, thumbs up. We have Lily Eller, greatly appreciated. Eduardo Reyes Lopez, thumbs up and hello. Kapaki, greatly appreciated. GBC, thumbs up. Benjamin Perez, appreciated. Prox Light, thumbs up, and I'll have to check that out. We have 360 Tomahawk Obese Gorilla 87, thumbs up. Aaron Kingsley, greatly appreciated. Miguel Malara, I sure hope I'm close. We have Colin Reisner, greatly appreciated. Dasarath, I like the way that name looks, thumbs up. And then there is Tash Bierschwald, thumbs up, and last but not least, Eleanor Gallagher, who was actually yesterday, so 24 comments, but still, 25 people thanked. Greatly appreciated, each and every one of you. Get me out of my head, into the world, dealing with real people, if only in text, and that is appreciated. Definitely thumbs up. If you could check out my various links down below, I have Twitter, Facebook, Patreon.com. If you could become a Patreon.com patron like one of these beautiful and awesome people, that would be beautiful and awesome. Definitely a thumbs up. And if you'd like to help me out without sending money through the patronage, I have a PayPal link down below. And if you'd like to help me out without sending money through the patronage, I have an Amazon wishlist link as well with things like cat food, hamster bedding, silly things, not silly things. If you could check it out, that would be very cool. Do not feel obligated. I do not feel entitled. And if you cannot donate or you simply do not donate, I take all good wishes and I deposit them in the bank of my heart where I draw interest. So thank you very much. If you could toss me a like, I appreciate all the positive validation I get from my existence. A definite thumbs up. And of course, if you could hit the notification bell on the subscription button, definitely a thumbs up on that. Well, good golly, Miss Molly. The horse head of encouragement has nothing but encouragement and love for each and every one of us on the face of this planet. It feels that we are a beautiful and awesome species with unlimited potential for each and every one of us, and it wishes nothing but the best for all of us. Definitely a thumbs up. And Black Lives Matter, good golly, Miss Molly. Good golly, Miss Molly. And of course, please try to stay as safe and creative as you can during these hard times, because if you don't have to go out, please don't go out. If you do, wear a mask, wash your hands, try not to touch your face, maintain your social distancing. And of course, if you don't have to go out, please don't. Yes, these are very hard times, but holy smokes, the way this thing is mutating and how quickly it is, oh, it ain't good. So, be careful. And, of course, you take care. Have a great day today. I will see you on the flip side, and that is a very good thing.